Hi gorgeous, are you joining us? Hi. Okay. Alright. Hello. I'm Alice and this is Bluebell and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. Now chances are if you're watching this you probably came from either my Instagram or my YouTube channel. Okay, bye. So you might have noticed or you might not but I have been posting a lot less recently and I have been finding kind of short form content and just those platforms in general quite stressful places. I've kind of been on a bit of a personal journey lately where I've been slowing down, I've been more intentional about everything in my life basically, and I kind of want that to trickle through my content. And it feels like in a world of like short form videos, quick scrolling, marketing hooks, keeping everything sort of short and to the point, like that just doesn't feel very intentional to me. It also doesn't feel very natural as somebody who is a certified yapper, I think we can all agree. This isn't like a big, shiny, massive relaunch or anything. I just kind of want somewhere where I feel safe, that I can share all the things that I love sharing. I can catch up with my community who I love and appreciate so much. And I guess just sort of showing you a little bit of a different side of my life, because there's only so much that you can fit in like a 1-minute reel. But on YouTube, I feel like you get to know people better. So I'm really excited to be here. Now, there's also every chance that you might have never heard of me before, ever, never seen any of my content. So I feel like for you, I need to give a little bit of personal background, tell you about myself. And even if you are familiar with my content, I've been a bit aloof recently, so I'll let you know what's been going on. So as I said, my name is Alice. I live in the Yorkshire Dales with my wife and my 2 babies. Bluebell, where is she? Good girl. Bluebell, who is 7 months old, and our cat Cashew, who is 5 years old. And I'm hoping I can figure out how to put some pictures up to show you what I'm talking about. Fingers crossed you'll be able to see those. I've been trying to figure out how to summarize my content, and I'm finding it really hard because I've got ADHD, and that means that what I'm interested in and what I enjoy talking about is all over the place and it changes constantly. But I think what is kind of always part of it is finding the fun and the joy in as much of my life as possible. And there are loads of ways that I do that. So one of them is basically everything I buy is pastel coloured because I love pastel colours and it makes me happy, and I just think that if you can buy something in your favourite colour, why on earth wouldn't you? I'm a very creative, crafty person. I love making things, and I also love like looking at something boring and thinking, how could I make this more me? How could I like express myself through this object or this piece of clothing or whatever it is? I love painting things, I love upcycling things, I love tapping into like childhood nostalgia. I feel like the world can feel like a really difficult place at the moment, and in kind of seeking this everyday joy and like romanticizing the little things and just trying to make every day like a fraction more fun, that is how I'm coping basically, and I like to share what I'm doing with the world. As I said, my content is always evolving, but for a really long time it centered around food freedom and breaking free from diet culture, because I was entrenched in diet culture for a really, really long time. In fact, when I first started blogging and sharing content on Instagram, my handle was at a spoonful of sweetener. That should give you an indication of where I was at. Thankfully, I could not be further from that person now. I did a lot of unlearning and I did a lot of relearning, and I did a lot of kind of facing some real fears and insecurities around my body and what I look like and how other people perceive me. And I'm so pleased to say that I'm in a much better place now. I spent so long talking about all that stuff on my Instagram. That's kind of how I like grew my account, especially during the pandemic. So I don't know how much of that I'm going to bring to this channel, because it kind of feels like an old older version of me, and I'm now at a point where actually sometimes sharing food stuff and sharing like body image stuff, it actually makes me dwell on what I'm eating, what I look like, more than if I just sort of like didn't talk about it and didn't think about it. But that's not to say that I won't at some point do a video talking about like my journey, what I've learned, and, you know, passing on some of that wisdom. But I don't know whether I want to start with that, because I kind of want this to be a bit of a fresh start and somewhere where I share all sorts of different things that I love, not just what I'm used to talking about. Me and my wife have had a bit of a crazy few years. I think that's why I'm at such a pivotal moment in my life. So in less than 3 years, we have moved from Brighton to the Yorkshire Dales. We have got married. I've got an ADHD diagnosis. She's had an autism diagnosis. So we've been navigating both kind of our individual relationship to our neurodivergent brains and also our relationship with each other based on everything new that we're learning. We have bought our house, something we never thought we would be able to do, but basically we were renting this house and then the landlord wanted to sell it, and we were able to pull quite a few strings and make it work. And so now we have this like whole project ahead of us because we love being at home. We're very sort of cozy, homely people. So we've been doing all sorts of things to make it feel like ours and what we've always envisaged it being, which has meant that I've been learning like DIY skills. I've been really challenging myself. We've been doing really fun like creative projects. So definitely expect to see some kind of home content on this channel and some maybe DIY content. I'm not saying it'll be like tutorials. I'm certainly not going to tell you how to do stuff. It'll more be like, hey, I'm learning how to do this. I'm working on this project. Let's sort of do it together, if you see what I mean. In some ways, our first year of marriage, I'm not going to lie, it felt a little bit cursed. Not like because of anything that the two of us were doing, not to do with our relationship, but just basically we came back from honeymoon, and from then things just kept going wrong, kept happening. We had like losses, we had like health scares. Ruth was in a motorcycle accident. Like it really did just feel like one thing after another. But I'm very pleased to say that year 2 of marriage so far, touch wood, has been a lot more positive. We've brought a new family member into our home, and honestly, like, without being too dramatic, getting a dog has completely changed our lives. Like, I think we knew it would, but I didn't realise. So to give a bit of background, we kind of got Bluebell, not just as a pet, but as like a support animal for Ruth, because as I mentioned, she's autistic. She really struggles with things like socializing and just like getting out and doing sort of day-to-day things. And so we knew that Bluebell was going to help her, but I kind of never stopped to think about how it would change my life, and how it would change our like relationship and the way that we spend time together. And I've loved like being outside more. I've loved reconnecting with nature because, as I mentioned, I love anything to do with like childhood nostalgia. And as someone who grew up in the countryside, now getting to watch the seasons change and like appreciate all the beautiful things around me, living back in the countryside, like that has brought me so much joy. And yeah, it's also changed my perspective. I kind of feel like how I think parents feel when they have their first child. Like it changes your priorities. It changes like just the way that you live every day. And having the puppy has done that for me, and it's done it for us. And I wonder whether that's why I feel this like disconnect with social media, because I don't have the time anymore to like be posting every single day and to like take pictures of everything, and then what would happen was I would be taking pictures of all sorts of stuff and then not have the time to actually post any of it, and then I would get stressed about not posting, and then the content that I was taking would build up and up and up, and I felt guilty not being able to post as much as I usually would, or like put real thought into the like content I was making. And so I think that's partially why I'm struggling with my other platforms at the moment, and why I feel like a YouTube channel where maybe I'll post like once a month or something. I just feel like I'm in a new era. I don't know. One of the other things that I've really been prioritizing recently is creativity and like crafty things, creative projects, not just because they bring me a huge amount of joy, but because they are like mindful. I've been doing loads of crochet, I've been learning to sew and make clothes, I've been, well, I haven't been doing these things, but I really want to get into like mosaic, I really want to get into like miniatures, and we've got a beautiful doll's house downstairs that I really want to renovate. And these are all the kind of things that I would love to share on this channel. I mean, do I know exactly what my videos are going to look like yet? No. I think it would be great actually if you have any ideas, let me know what you'd like to see. I was thinking maybe I could do a house tour and kind of show you all the like little bits and pieces we've been doing to the house, what we have planned. I'd also love to do a video talking about my ADHD journey, like diagnosis and how it presents for me personally, and then maybe I could talk also about medication, because I've been on medication since February, and I think that would be maybe helpful, because I would have found that helpful when I was starting to take my medication. I'd love to do a little like day in the life with Bluebell, and also to take you places that we go or that I go, and just kind of like do little vlogs. I don't know. This is in no way going to be a polished influencer-y type account. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to editing, really, like long form videos. I am a very imperfect person. I put makeup on and did my hair for the purposes of this video, but like most days these days I don't have time to do my makeup, and I just shove my hair up in a bun. So I would imagine that's what I'll look like most of the time. But again, that's the kind of thing that I want to see at the moment. Like, I just want to see authentic, real life, chatty, cozy, safe, yeah, stuff that's not going to make me compare myself or feel like I'm living life wrong. Yeah, I'd love to hear the kind of videos you'd like to see from me, especially if you're someone who's followed me on my other accounts. Like, I feel like you guys know me better than I know myself. I actually find it really difficult to talk about myself like this and kind of explain who I am as a person. That is the neurodivergence talking, I imagine. Right, I can see that my battery is flashing at me even though I charged my camera before I started this. So I'm just going to say a very quick goodbye. I'm going to say thank you so much, especially if you stuck around this long. Like, I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate you. I guess subscribe if you want to see more, and like the video, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, tell me, I don't know, something delicious that you ate today or you're gonna eat today. I really want to hear about that. I don't know what the next video is going to be, I don't know when the next video is going to be, but if you subscribe then you'll be the first to find out. And yeah, I think I need to figure out like a little outro, because I always like it when people do that. But for now, I'll just say I'm sending you lots of love, and I will see you next time, I hope. Bye!